Yeah, this was so stupid. I started a stream on the wrong channel. And yeah, now I think I fixed it. I'll go try and figure out. Did I fix it? Are we live on my other channel? Yeah, we're live. It's hilarious because I genuinely had like people looking at the stream in the on my other YouTube channel. Anyway, guys, hello everyone. Guten Tag, bonjour, dobry den. This is me, Zeno, today. Now, I'll be honest with you, I did not really want to stream today because, well, I have some stuff that I need to figure out, and also I have to wake up early tomorrow. But I skipped the Tuesday stream because of the work that I had to get done. I did not post new reactions today and yesterday because again I got overloaded with work and some other responsibilities, especially if you heard what happened today in the football world. And yeah, I work in football media, so that obviously got a lot of attention. And I decided that it's not fair to you to skip two streams in a row. So that's why I am going to give you a quick, good, short stream and then head off to bed, even though it's half past 12 a.m. in my local time zone. But I'm still up here for you guys. So one thing that I will mention before we start is it is actually a hilarious part. My channel got a warning. It's super hilarious because I don't even know what for. And that's how at least I've been explaining the low views under the last reactions. When we just hit the new high, like 10 days ago, I get a warning from YouTube. Yeah, it's my most popular video right now. I have no clue how this happened. I don't know who gave me the warning, for what reasons. I didn't even get an email. But yeah, apparently YouTube considers my content very violent. I suppose at least so. Anyway, this is not the topic of our stream. The topic of our stream is going to be MIscha Petrov. Now, you people who have watched this channel for a while now already know this creator. They already know what I think of this creator, some of her ideas, and yeah, like most of our creators, she reacts to interesting social topics, and I genuinely like to discuss these because it just frees my mind from all the outside stuff that's going on. Yeah, I genuinely want to just dive into the reaction, guys. Really, because if I start now thinking about all this stuff, it's just gonna get tough. So I hope you don't mind. For all of you watching on Twitch and on YouTube, before we move forward, I really ask you to subscribe to all my channels. If you're watching me on Twitch, subscribe there. If you're watching me on YouTube, subscribe there. That's always appreciated. That's always loved. And yeah, I think that without further ado, let's jump into the reactions and let's talk a bit about men. Men and how they generally live their lives today. So, oops. Why so many women are mocking man's mental health? A video by a creator called MIscha Petrov. I just talked about her on my stream. I'll go on shortly here. She's just a very interesting creator who makes videos about a lot of different interesting social topics. I have no idea what else to add up. This is a very interesting social topic because men's mental health does get mocked, and it gets mocked a lot of the times from the people who are actually who are actually claiming that they're protecting it. And I mean, if someone is willing to talk about this, then I'm willing to bring this topic on as well. Before I actually do that, before I bring that topic on, let me just really quick check if my stream works. Who are actually trying yes. I decided to check if it works on my phone, and it does. So, let's jump into her reaction. Wait. Yeah, now it's all good.
Make the rates higher.
I don't care.
Men's mental health, I don't know.
It's officially men's mental health. I don't care.
So June is Men's Mental Health Month, and I didn't even know about
Really? We have a whole month for mental health, for men's mental health. Also, she got herself an interesting new studio with a cat.
that until last year. Evidently, I was not the only one. It's not exactly promoted with the same sort of enthusiasm or corporate sponsorship as something like Pride Month, for example. But this year,
Of course, we're gonna mention wait, when was this video uploaded? I think Pride Month is June. This was 13 days ago. Now, listen, you all know what I think about Pride and all of that stuff. About particularly the idea of a month. So I'm not going to comment on this, especially now since I got a warning, but I will say that bringing this up as an argument is just, you're just showcasing directly what you really think about it. And I'm not judging you, but it's not very good when you're trying to make a good point.
I have noticed an uptick in people discussing whether or not this is necessary. And there's this one video in particular that has sparked
For men's mental health.
a wave of responses. This TikToker filmed herself mocking the idea of taking a moment of silence for men's mental health.
To be fair, I hear it the first time, so I wouldn't mock it because I don't genuinely mock things, but I find it interesting that this type of content is in generally discussed in public.
And in response, many men, they brought up suicide statistics to make their point. So today I want to unpack this. Why are men's emotional struggles often treated like a punchline? Also, why are so many reactions to this conversation on both sides so extreme? Let's begin with the original video, and then we're going to take a look at some of the responses. So here it is, right? Me when it's time to take a moment of silence for men's mental health.
Yeah.
And this is the response to the girl that posted that.
Wait, what? All me when it's time to be loud for men's mental health.
I don't care. Okay. I really don't give a
Well, that's unfortunate, because there's certainly a lot of women out there that
Did I not see her in some other videos? I think I did.
expect all men to care about all women's issues. But yet when it comes to matters that are actually critical to the male population, there are a lot of women out there that really should stop saying that they have empathy for others, because it's becoming perfectly obvious that they don't.
So people saying that they don't care with such pride, like apathy is something to brag about. It's not, right? And then this woman stitched that video, responded calmly, pointing out how so many women expect men to care deeply about women's issues, yet feel no obligation to reciprocate.
It's officially June. It's officially men's mental health. Shut the
I stopped listening at man. Oh.
up. I don't care.
This kind of select
Yeah, true. Listen, all of these arguments, they are very easily broken down. Especially if you preach equality between men and women, all you need to do is just reverse the roles. Reverse the roles. We're equal. What's then the difference between my mental health and a woman's mental health? Right? If you're of course for equality. But if you're not for equality, then it's always interesting to see where does the line draw, right? When do we mock men's mental health, but also take away some of their privileges that help them survive with their mental health? You get the point that I'm making. I'm not gonna make it too obvious. I got a warning from YouTube. I'm not gonna make it that obvious, but you got the point.
Selective empathy isn't just hypocritical, it's revealing, okay? It shows how conditional some people's compassion, some people's empathy really has become. I only care about you if we're on the same political team. I only care about you if we're the same gender. What is that?
The funniest part is supposed to be that, right? I mean, those who have to care most about men's mental health are those who are pro-equality, right? Or are you saying that those women that we have just seen, they are like the ultra-right representatives of the woman of the Western society? Come on, who are you trying to kid? It's almost 1 a.m. at my place. I had a very tiring series of working days. I'm not in for this bullshit.
And to openly mock mental health awareness for half the population. It's grotesque, you know? I genuinely wonder how someone gets to that point. Do they not have a single man in their lives that they care about, that cares about them? A father, a brother, a grandfather, a friend.
These people don't have to have mental health issues. They are men. You know what I'm saying? Well, okay, let's actually try to listen to the arguments and be rational, like we always do.
And a teacher, anyone? Because let's be honest, in many of these cases, the people who proudly broadcast their hatred toward the opposite gender are almost always single. Maybe not 100% of the time, but enough that it's noticeable. Because it's a bit hard to be in a loving, healthy relationship.
They are single, but the specter of emotions that they are feeling makes them feel single. It's different. It's very different, even compared to men. You know, being with someone doesn't mean that you feel like being with someone. A woman has to feel, and when it comes to feelings, here we could probably say that 100% of them don't feel men in their life. That's how I would put it out.
Relationship while hating the gender of your partner. That level of bitterness doesn't come from empowerment, right? From happiness. It often comes from isolation. And it's no coincidence that the loudest voices mocking all men or all women are often the loneliest. Now, do I think that everyone who rolls their eyes at Men's Mental Health Month is cruel or incapable of empathy? No. I think some are just reacting from personal pain, trauma, right? I get that. But mocking the entire conversation doesn't make you powerful, and it's not going to.
So some of them are thinking that this is like, uh, especially if it goes at the same month as Pride Month, some may think that this is just a contradictory idea that is there not to actually push the idea of men's mental health, but to neglect the idea of let's even say pride. Uh, and some of them have a point, and I am absolutely sure that some people would use that men's mental health month just to neglect another month. But then again, do we just mock the idea in general because of that? Isn't this a bit, it's the same as making a verdict about a whole gender, about the whole orientation just based on an action of a couple people. Like there's got to be a broad spectrum of these.
To bring about any real change. Men, when grape jokes, it's dark humor. They'll say men when you joke about Men's Mental Health Month. And she does say, I don't joke about it, I just find it ironic. If your entire persona, at least online, is built on dark humor, it's just humor, right? Nothing's off limits, then you can't turn around and become emotionally fragile, a snowflake, as soon as the joke isn't flattering to your gender. There has to be some consistency. Either dark humor is fair game, including jokes about men and women, or it isn't. You don't get to be emotionally detached when it's about women, but then play victim the second it's about you. When someone makes
That is exactly why I don't do these jokes online. And that is exactly why some people may trigger these topics and some people may not trigger these topics in my life, because I have very different perspectives for other people. And you should all too. You should all too, trust me. If you're online the same way as you are in real life, you gotta really take a look at what you're doing.
makes a dark humor joke about women's issues, maybe it's assault, there will always be men online saying, relax, it's just a joke. Okay, dark humor, it's allowed. But the moment a woman makes a joke about men's issues, suddenly it's, you whore, you deserve to be raped, you deserve to be assaulted. You know what?
Oh, hell no.
I
If
think you're
someone
triggered.
says
You're
deserve to be raped or dead, it's just like, look, Diogo Jota died today, you know? People are dying every single. This is not something you throw in as assault unless that person has really done something bad to you, which a joke online, even as bad as it is, it's no. Death, rapes, this is all taboo. Truly, if a person starts assaulting you like this, just cut them out of your life. Trust me when I say you they won't stab you in the back. Just trust me on this. No rational explanation, just trust.
you're offended, and that's okay. It's only human. It happens to men, it happens to women. People get offended sometimes, but how you express that matters. If your response is violent, unhinged, purely reactionary, you don't look powerful. You look unstable. You look triggered. You reinforce the very stereotypes you claim to be fighting.
Men just themselves and no one cares. We need to change it.
Her critique is that men tend to derail the conversation by immediately
1 out of 5 women in the US have experienced sexual assault. Okay, wow, I'm actually learning these abbreviations now.
bringing up male suicide rates as if the pain is a competition, or, oh, but men experience this too. And I get her point because it can come off as deflection, like a need to center the male experience no matter the topic. But I also think a lot of men, they aren't doing that to try and erase women's pain. They bring it up because they don't feel seen in their own ever, because they're not allowed to go online and say, yeah, look, we are suffering, we have this mental health crisis, the loneliness epidemic, rates, whatever. And then women.
The fact that I wouldn't do it doesn't mean that it's wrong. In general, it's not wrong in terms of what online content is pushing. So if we're pushing the idea of victimhood and the idea of how tough life is, then we have to push it for everybody and not just a selective group of people. And if you're not pushing, well, you know, you can't have the pain, the good without the pain, and the pain without the good. It comes all together. So please just stay stable to your line.
Laugh. And so then they start shouting over women bringing up their own struggles even when they shouldn't. One group's trauma doesn't cancel out another's. Both these issues matter, and if we're genuinely serious about fixing anything, we have to stop weaponizing these.
So we either consider both an issue or we consider none an issue. That's also a possibility. It may hurt other people, it may hurt even more people, but it's at least a rational explanation. That, look, I genuinely don't care about any shit that's going in, no matter from whose side is coming, so your shit, you live with it. And that's totally fine, but are people actually willing to accept it, or will they just do the right thing and solve all the problems instead of being very selective? Let's move on.
Statistics just to use it in the gender war, like we're in kindergarten again. Men are evil, all women are evil, girls are better, no, boys are better. And then we get videos like this, I'm so proud of hating men, as if that's some sort of badge of honor, as if
oh my god, misandrist. God, I speak English well, I study philosophy in English, and I can't really understand. Okay, misandrist, a person who hates men. You could have just wrote sexist, and it would have made much more sense to me. Since when did TikTok become so good, so powerful? Since when do we use these type of words? Or is it just my tiredness speaking right now?
hating half the population makes you edgy or intelligent. It doesn't. Okay, it doesn't. It makes you look emotionally stunted. There's nothing empowering about dehumanizing.
Where is my TikTok video about men being? Wait. I'm gonna actually find this meeting. Where is my video of someone who is proud of being a misogynist? Right. Oh my god, I forgot that word. Please bring it up to me. Oh yeah, right, we can't, because TikTok is gonna ban it. And YouTube is gonna send you warnings. No, okay, no. That's actually even YouTube's just gonna ban you directly. I have no clue what it sent me the warning for.
An entire gender.
Men's mental health, I don't give a f. I'm tired of hearing all this men suffer in silence. Mother they don't.
Here's the point. If you don't care, if you're like tired of us speaking about it, explain me why you're tired.
They don't. Women suffer in silence. Men suffer in violence. If a is upset or he's
Wait, what? Women suffer in silence, men suffer in violence? What does that have to do with the point of you seeing content on social media?
angry, he gonna let a woman know. He's gonna make sure she hears it. Go to therapy. Shut the f
Oh yeah, go to therapy, because you don't really. I think you misgendered some of the issues, sweetie. Like, are you sure that's the way we operate? Have you? Again, maybe just bad experience. I don't know. Even MIscha is shocked. Listen, I would pull the same smile if I hadn't gone through a lot of things today. But yeah, okay. Never mind. Let's watch on.
Suffer in violence. Okay, well, this is obviously coming from someone who has many bad experiences probably and have seen men react in violent ways. Keep in mind, raising awareness and encouraging men to get help instead of hurting themselves or someone else doing something illegal, that's a good message. That's gonna help both
Why
men
did
and
you just start with this? Like, why did you start with fuck men's mental health? It genuinely doesn't make sense. You're pushing a good idea, you're pushing good stuff, but you're covering it this sleazy, shitty cover, and nobody's not going to see the real idea behind the video. Even I started arguing with you without watching your video till the end. The hook is the most important part. If you don't start from the beginning, how are you going to go to the end? Why do I even have to explain this stuff? I genuinely don't know.
women. So I don't know how you could be against that, really. A lot of men do suffer in silence and then unalive themselves, but for the men that don't, and for the men who think it's okay to hurt someone else because they're struggling, there should be awareness about how no, actually, that's not okay. And also recognition of one group's suffering is not a threat to your own. If you truly
Wait, I'm curious about.
And also recognition of one group's suffering.
You have never understood the purpose of having designated separate months for men and women's. That's actually a good one. That is actually a good one for those, especially for those who are pushing equality. Look, if this is true, I have no clue, and I'm not going to Google this right now. But if this is true, and they actually have separate months, then I totally get, like, why are we differentiating this problem? Good for you, Queen Tor. Good for you.
Suffering is not a threat to your own. If you truly care about mental health, you should want both conversations to be taken seriously, because the well-being of women and the well-being of men, they are deeply interconnected. When one group is suffering, it's going to inevitably affect the other. But instead of acknowledging that, right, people online regress to this playground logic. All women are evil. All men are evil. It's immature. Your bad experience with one person or two people or whatever, your dating history, a lot of people bring that up. None of that justifies generalizing an entire gender. Hello? Everyone is different.
For some reason, our society loves to paint this image that it's men versus women and that all men are bad and that women are this, that, and the other. And it's like, and at a certain point, we literally just have to sit back and look at these absolute unemployed incels who take what's supposed to be an awareness month and then do shit like this.
The truth is that people in general are struggling right now, especially with social media, tech-driven isolation. That has created a generation that's overstimulated, that's disconnected, and while both men and women are affected, men often experience that differently. They tend to have weaker social support systems, and there is still a strong stigma around vulnerability, especially in male friend groups. As a result of that, many men end up suffering in silence until frustration spills out, often anonymously online, often in comments under a woman criticizing something like Men's Mental Health Month, right? So reaching out correctly, that isn't weak. You don't have to go to therapy. I know that's not everybody's thing, but talk to somebody, a parent, a friend, but someone, because bottling it up until it turns into resentment doesn't make you strong.
That is true. Listen, the best way to battle struggles is to interact with other people. Even if you don't want to talk about the particular subject that's bothering you, at least other people, they will bring you life. Because life is not about papers that you need to fill. Life is not about some dead dates and deadlines. No, life is about the things you see, the things you experience, the people in your life. That is what life is about. And if you're truly struggling mentally, and I mean, like, or even if you're sad, like, look, just you could use it both as distraction but also as healing, because you could see that life is life, and I talked to this person. I ate with that person. We played a fun game of football with another person. And we were kind of living life. Isn't that what it's all about? So genuinely, like, spend time with people. I don't care if you want this or not, like it. Find some people and spend some time. You'll get attached, trust me.
Guarantees more pain down the line. Women, on the other hand, are socially encouraged to talk about their emotions. It's normalized. You want to vent to your friends, that's fine. You share the same weight, and that helps. That kind of support system genuinely reduces emotional pressure, okay? So it's something I believe that men need more of, not in a forced or performative way, but in a real, organic way that looks different for men. Our challenges often look different. Men still face enormous pressure to provide, to never show weakness, right? Especially if you're more of like a traditional guy. So a job loss or health issue doesn't just hit their finances, it can devastate their entire identity. If they have been conditioned to equate worth with productivity, they'll spiral when that's compromised, right? But women often will experience higher rates of assault, for example, and face
I
different
like that she pointed out exactly which assault. And now she's blocking these words because apparently saying. I already got a warning. I'll keep it for the future. There will be a time when I will need to use the word and I will use it.
biological challenges that affect mental health. So we're talking about something like PMS or PMDD in more extreme cases, how pregnancy can affect that, or postpartum depression. These differences matter. We're biologically different. So the mental health discourse should reflect that. And then some woman says Men's Mental Health Month does matter. Pick me. I don't know, like, who's really the pick me here? A woman who views men as human beings recognizes, oh, I love my dad. I love my brother. I love my boyfriend. I love my friend. I love my cousin. There are so many men in my life that I love and that love me, and I recognize that they are human beings and that their mental health matters. Or the woman who says, actually, I can't get a date, so I hate all men. Because I'm struggling to find a boyfriend, we should kill all men. Who's a pick me? I don't really understand. And there's the exact same like male equivalent. That's talked about more, but both exist. With the male side, it's like, oh, I can't get a girlfriend. No girl will date me. So they're all whores. Why would someone want to date someone like that? Oh yeah, that's a great partner for me because they hate my gender. Think about it. For example, make the rates higher. Kill all men. Male loneliness epidemic, but if you don't have an unreal body and a beautiful face without makeup, they don't want, like, this is
Yeah, this is just complete lie. Listen, it's proven by stats that this is just a lie, so I'm not even gonna commentate on this one.
exactly what I was just talking about, right? Not everything is about you and the fact that you can't find a date. Let's put dating aside for a second. You don't see them as human beings. You don't have anyone of the opposite gender who you care about. Really? Do you ever like go out in the real world? Do you ever interact with human beings? Maybe this is coming from people who really need to put the phone down. I genuinely don't care about men. Burn and torture every man who thinks they deserve an awareness month.
Wait, where this happened? Let me
About
see.
men.
Burn and torture every man who thinks they deserve an awareness month. Let me go on TikTok. I'm actually, you know what? It's so random how I pick what to do, who to pursue and who not to. Wait, it's Sen. And then I have to find the emojis. Give me a second. I need to find the green heart emoji for this one. Wait, I have some music playing here, so wait, give me a sec. It's Sen, and I need the emojis. I'll definitely cut this out from the YouTube part, but I'm sorry that you have to look for this right now. And then I need, oh my god, I need to use the gay flag, and then the love. Screw it. I'll just Google like this. There you are. Wait, let's all look at you. Let's all look at you. Forget ma. You're not even putting your real name into the cover. Look near the bottom left corner. What is that? Look, you don't even look that bad. Oh my god, come on. I didn't want any more football reminders today. But I can bet you she doesn't even know what Liverpool is. And then I see you smoking. Nah, you lost me on this one. You genuinely had a good start. Although, nah, you never had a chance. Also, you don't look like you're the age of consent, so how are you able to go on TikTok? What are even these reposts? Wait, where's the sound? And then I'm gonna get a copyright strike from YouTube.
Burn and torture every man who thinks they deserve an awareness month. Are you guys okay? Women's Mental Health Month, yeah. No, we should have one because you guys need to be aware of how mentally ill you are. This is not okay. But then she responds, women only get a week, but men get a month. But yes, I should care. Girl, advocate for a Women's Mental Health Month. Okay, but why not also have a Men's Mental Health Month? It's pick.
Why are we even having these month debates? What's all with this month? What's all with these? Look, I genuinely don't get. I understand days. You dedicate a specific day to celebrate, to honor, and basically to go all around, like to genuinely. I wouldn't even say waste, but that actually dedicate yourself to this one thing. You get a day, right? How are you getting a week? It's like celebrating your birthday for a week, for a month. It genuinely doesn't make sense. Just awareness. What 11 months I shouldn't be aware, but this one I am aware? Yeah, I'm getting tired, and I don't think we're watching a second video today, guys. I'm sorry. I pushed myself to do this one, but I genuinely want to deliver good content, so we're going to skip on the next one.
Me to be a decent human being, to not want to burn and torture every man. All men should be raped and killed brutally. All of them. Okay, but this one,
she actually found, thanks, because I would have wasted additional 2 minutes to look for that account.
Let's keep in mind, there are definitely going to be people doing this just as rage bait. And I think I found one. You're loved, vegan, Indian, trans, Jewish, neurodivergent, disabled. Okay, posting this.
11, 10, 9,
2 men die every minute. Me counting.
8.
Me seeing men and then men is censored. Have a month when Indian Jews get nothing and suffer more. I think it's rage bait. I'm gonna take a wild guess and they fall for it. I hope you get raped to death and your family dies, you fat bitch. See, okay.
I mean, to be fair, no, bad attention is always better than no attention. So if that actually is rage bait, then good for you. If you actually think like this, how is this content not banned? How can I get warnings on YouTube while this is just out there on TikTok for anyone to watch? Not this one, but particularly this one. Come on, open your eyes, community guidelines. Oh my god. I'm so getting mad at this. I am so getting
Your
mad.
family dies, you fat bitch. See, okay. Women are taught to process things out loud with each other, while men are often taught to suppress, to distract, to redirect. Not because they don't feel anything, not because men don't have emotions, but because vulnerability has never been modeled to them as
they don't feel, they feel stuff. They feel stuff. They just know how. Okay, no, that sounded wrong. They just learn how to make sure that this does not affect their day-to-day duties. I think I formulated this in a very good way.
Strength, right? It's framed as weakness. So it's not that men don't struggle, it's that they're taught to struggle in silence. Does that mean, okay, so now let's cry about everything? Men, yes. Women, we have a minor inconvenience and we have to get a diagnosis. No, That's not what that means. That's not mental health awareness. Some people take it too far. Some people think, okay, so let me just be an emotional mess. Let me be unstable. That's going to help me. No, it's not. Sometimes you have to learn how to control yourself. In fact, that's the whole point of raising awareness, to bring a bit more stability into your life, to learn how to control your emotions, yes, but when you're really struggling, when something serious happens to you, a big change in your life, it's okay to reach out. It's okay to talk to someone you trust. If you don't have someone like that, yes, therapy.
right.
If you don't want to do that, I mean, there's so many things you can do. You can journal, you can work on your physical health, because that does
journaling is actually a very useful. Like, listen, I did not believe in journaling until I started by myself. Even a cooler tip: write essays. Like, actually, truly write essays about the problems that were you. Because here's what happens: once you bring this problem to life, once you bring it with a pen, it's now outside your head, so at least it's taking much less space. You now transported this information onto something else and freed your mind for literally anything else, starting from positive emotions to, I don't know, love and all of that stuff. So genuinely, guys, writing essays and journaling, very useful tip.
Affect your mental health and vice versa. If you're religious, you can pray, you can go to church, you can talk to that community. I mean, there are so many things you can do, and it depends on the person and what works for them. I just don't want some people to hear this and this whole conversation, surrounding mental health awareness and think, okay, yeah, what this is all about is me and all of these different, labels I can give myself. No, actually. So they're taught to struggle in silence, saying, oh, I'm not okay, something like that. Talking to your friends, that's like a betrayal to that masculinity. And there's a culture that rewards stoicism, but then mocks opening up when you really need to, right? Emotional strength is not pretending that everything is fine all the time. It's having the self-awareness to recognize when you're not okay, right? And then doing
because, again, aware. You can't be aware if you don't see things. You can only be aware when you can actually see them and analyze
something about it. Getting off social media for a while, right? Setting boundaries with yourself and with others. Also, I think it starts with reminding men it's okay to feel something other than rage or nothing at all. It's okay. There are a lot of different emotions you're allowed to feel. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. That's the thing, though. It's expected, I'll say, for the women to get upset and then they cry. And it's so sad. Oh no. Okay. And then for the men, though, what you'll see, it's like maybe because they don't feel like they can cry, they can't express their emotions that way, that they just get angry. So that actually presents itself with this trend and how triggered men react to it. It's not, I'm very upset. I mean, some men, they're like crying and they're talking about people they've lost and that we should have this mental health awareness month.
You're expecting a lot from me at 1:10 a.m. so that you could just quickly put TikTok video.
Crying and they're talking about people they've lost and that we should have this.
I just told her I lost my oh no. Take care, dude.
This mental health awareness month makes sense to have that kind of reaction. But a lot of men, all women should die because of this woman, what she posted. It's like there's an issue.
When he says it's mental health, but he comments mid one vibe it and it's over 310 California 6. I don't even know not how. Look, get out of TikTok. That is true. Delete this app. It won't bring you any good.
With expressing your emotions, and so a lot of people resort to that. And I'm not saying women don't do this. You'll see with this trend too, actually, a lot of women respond the same way. So there's an issue, especially when we see that it's going from 0 to 100, instead of taking a step back and saying, okay, what about this triggered me so much? What's something that I can type out, or, maybe I could make a video, talk about it, that would actually be productive, right? And add some value to this conversation, instead of some of the comments that we see, some of the videos that we see as well with this trend. Another major factor, by the way, is technology and how that is replacing real connection, especially for men, though, because things like pornography.
Girlfriends are already such a huge problem, guys. Just take a look in that industry and a lot of the things are gonna shock you.
will say, gaming, social media addiction. These things, they provide quick dopamine spikes that mimic intimacy or achievement without requiring any real emotional investment, right? And for a lot of men, especially younger ones, that kind of digital escape becomes their only outlet. So why would they risk the possibility of rejection or vulnerability when you can be safe right behind a screen? Now, this is
they were never ever introduced for the price that you get when the risk is paid off. For those men, I actually feel sad because the risk always ends up being worth it.
Trap both men and women fall into. But
Mischa, did you also get the warning? Why is the word porn blocked here? Or are you selling this content to kids as well? I genuinely don't understand. Why are these topics something that we ban? Because the whole problem, one of the biggest problems, is that we're not talking about them enough sometimes. We're not talking about their negative sides. We're not talking about the ways how we can actually fight them, why we don't need this. Instead, we decide, well, okay, we're just cover it up. People are not going to understand what we're talking about. And it's not like they have the whole internet to go explore afterwards and find answers from those people that we're trying to prevent them from. Solving problems is by being aware of it, and only by being aware of it could you actually answer about it. You could actually position yourself at this problem and say, no, we're now changing it because we're taking action. This is not action. This is just hiding behind the leaves.
For men, it's often more dangerous. Why? Because men are more visually wired, we'll say. So things like pornography, especially in the
You literally said the word right now. What's the point of all the leaves? What's the point of all the leaves?
extreme unlimited forms available online today, they pull men into addiction. It creates warped expectations. It is a massive contributing factor to the male loneliness epidemic, to the female loneliness epidemic, to the rising depression rates. But when your main source of intimacy is something you can click, skip, control, real relationships start to feel inconvenient. They start to feel confusing or not worth the effort. And we have OF and we have AI doing OF or whatever else. I mean, it's no wonder why so many people are suffering in silence. We encourage people to stop consuming garbage, whether it be your actual diet or your social media feed or your late night distractions. That affects people more than they realize, right? You need to take care of yourself. You need to build real discipline. Now, what you should be telling women and men is that when there's something serious going on, something that is affecting their well-being, their relationships, their sense of identity, it is not weak to seek help. It is calculated, in fact. It is intelligent. You don't have to become emotionally dramatic to be emotionally aware. If you don't want to do it for yourself, do it for those who care about you. Do it for those you care about. And at the end of the day, it should not be a controversial message to say that men's mental health matters or that women's mental health matters. It doesn't make you a pick-me girl or a pick-me boy for saying, yeah, it's not good when we have high suicide rates, when we're demonizing an entire...
Suicide is banned. But you can say pornography, yet you're covering it with leaves. I am genuinely not getting the logic of these community guidelines. I genuinely don't. Please, someone reach out to me and explain them. It's annoying as fuck.
Gender, because you may have had bad experiences. Acknowledging that men's mental health matters does not diminish women's mental health or invalidate their struggles, okay? It is not a competition. It's a call for balance, for honesty and growth on both sides.
Mental health is not a joke. Over 500,000 men unalive themselves each and every year.
You do not need to suffer in silence to prove that you're strong or a real man. Real strength is knowing when to step up, when to speak up, right? And how to do it, because there's a right time and place and a wrong time and place. Trauma dumping to strangers online or in the real world is not the right time or place. Go to someone you know and trust, or a therapist, or journal, or reflect, improve your physical health like we talked about. There are so many different ways to improve your mental health, but it is not weak. And if your first instinct when you hear men's mental health or women's mental health is to roll your eyes, maybe pause and ask yourself why. Is it discomfort with the idea that both men and women deserve compassion, that it's not right to generalize and demonize an entire gender? And that's all. You guys let me know what you think in the comments below. Also remember to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Share the video.
Well, as I said as well, please follow my channel. Please subscribe to it. And moral of this video, because we're not doing another stream, another video. Moral of the video. The first path to solving a problem is by admitting that you have one. So guys, be aware of what's going around in your life, even if it's uncomfortable. And with that being said, this was Zeno today with you. Wait, am I gonna actually check the comment section? Okay, never mind. This was Zeno today with you. Like this video if you enjoyed it, dislike if you didn't, but also please comment below so that I know why exactly you didn't, and maybe I broke some community guidelines that I shouldn't have. It was a very short but a very useful stream, and I will see you in my other videos.